What's up? I think it's time I told you my story. Stay tuned. What's up, guys? I think it's time for me to tell my story. Not that you really care. I just think I need to set up why I am who I am and what I do. I'm a Grammy Award winning songwriter. I won a Grammy Award in 2001 with Jimmy Vaughn, Do You Get the Blues? I wrote 5 of the songs on that album. Since then, I've written songs for Eric Gales. I wrote songs with Prince. I mean, I'm a musician. I've been a musician my whole life. I've been a working musician my whole life. My first gig, I was 7 years old, singing in my dad's church. Now, I didn't say any of that to impress you, but I said it to impress upon you that my story really is no different than anybody else's, and it's no different than yours. And let me explain. Everybody's story is different to a degree, but everybody's story kind of follows the same pattern. And mine started like this. When I got out of college, I left college with a semester to go to join a band and never went back. That was almost 40 years ago. And since then, I've been in maybe 5 bands, 2 of which I started. And I've had a career that most musicians would kill for. But a lot of times people think when you're a musician and you've got certain accolades that equals dollars. It doesn't. I'm not famous, nor do I have a fortune. I just happen to have done some things that allowed me to be around certain people and do certain things that I thought was really cool. Now, I love being a musician, but here's the things that I needed to do as I got older. I needed to be more responsible. In other words, have the ability to respond. And when you don't have any money, you can't respond properly. So when your rent is due and you don't have any money and no gigs, they don't care that you got gigs coming up. They want their money now. So my whole life, I probably had 5 real jobs. All of them were in sales, more or less. And all of them were eat what you kill kind of jobs. Straight commission or small base plus commission or a draw against the commission. So I'm very used to killing what I eat. But I'm also used to being broke until I kill again. Like selling cars. You're literally unemployed till you sell your next car. Right? So I became very accustomed to that lifestyle. The only problem is it cost me at least one wife and maybe a second one. My current wife is the mother of my child. Now, my last wife, I should say, is the mother of my child. So there's an enormous societal pressure there when you're a musician and you don't have consistent income. And you're around people and they're like, so what do you do? Because everybody wants to know, what do you do? Everybody wants to talk about jobs. And jobs mean nothing to me. Even doing gigs doesn't really mean anything to me. What matters to me is my freedom, my time, my ability to use my time as I choose. And stick to the end, guys, because this gets good, okay? Especially with the whole Prince thing. But in the course of all of that, I realized with my wife, who is the love of my life, there are some things I needed to do. But I was using how she views life as a catalyst to do things that I didn't want to do, like go get a job. So I'll never forget it. A few years ago, I'm at my job working at a car dealership where I had to wear a suit every day. Yeah. It was a Mercedes-Benz dealership here in the Twin Cities. And it was an okay job. I mean, wasn't like it was drudgery. You know, you wear a suit and you walk around and people come in and they try to buy cars and you show them a car and they drive in it and they buy it. Okay? But I didn't realize until I was selling cars that you can go broke selling cars. Selling cars, you can go broke. Because there's really no money in it. When you look at how much money you're giving to the company as opposed to how much money you put in your pocket, it's crazy. So I'm sitting in my dealership, and it happens to me all the time. This stuff happens to me all the time. I'm sitting in my dealership, and the television across from me comes on with this breaking news. And the news was the ultra famous, internationally famous rock star, guitarist, and performer Prince has died. And don't forget, I worked with Prince. I toured with Prince. I shot basketball with Prince. I chased girls with Prince. I knew him personally. He used to come and sit in with my band all the time. Again, I'm not trying to impress you. I'm just showing you the story. Stick with me. So I find out Prince is dead. So I call Morris Hayes, who I've known since he was a freshman in college. He and I came to the Twin Cities together. And he became Prince's keyboard player for years, years and years and years. And I call him, I text him and said, have you seen the news? He said, yeah, I don't know if it's real or not. So then we're all freaking out, and I called Robbie Pastor, who was his assistant and all that for many years, and I called Kirk Johnson, who was his assistant at the time, and I called all these people, right? Long story short, impossible, right? Long story short, I go back to work that next week, and this faint, very familiar voice whispered in my ear at work one day. And it said this, and I quote, oh, you're selling cars, huh? Yeah, it was Prince. In my ear, clear as day. You're selling cars, huh? Thought you were a musician. Wow. Luckily, I had a vacation starting that next couple of days. And my wife and I went to Key West. And we didn't have a kid at the time. My wife and I went to Key West. And while I was there, I talked to Robbie for an hour, and we talked, and we cried, and we talked, and we laughed, and joked, and cried, and talked. And I never went back. I called the dealership and said, I'm not going back, because I know staying here would be me just trying to take your little money that you give as a base until I finally quit. I've been offered an opportunity to play for some Prince parties that Prince's brother is throwing, and I'm going to start my band. I'm going to start a band. And I started another band, G Sharp in the Business. And we played in town for a little while. But again, playing in a band is fun, but there's no real money. And it's up and down. And even when it's up, it's not really up. It's just not so down. So, again, stick with me. It gets better. We have our child, Kingston. Love of my life. I'd do anything for this kid. And when I said that, the first time I said that to myself, and the first time I saw him, I said, I got you, kid. Daddy's got you. He was my first and only child. Now, mind you, I was 57 when I had Kingston. So I'm thinking to myself, I got to do some things big, and I got to do them fast. But what did I do? Went and got another job. You would think I'd know by now. But when I got a job, I was a recruiter for a company. Great company. Awesome company. And I was a recruiter for 2.5 months. But every job I ever had, something would happen. After about 60 days, the universe would send me a gig. Either Jimmy Vaughn would say, I'm going on the road, or something. So Brown Mark from the Revolution decides to do a show at Paisley Park for the Prince celebration, and I'm in the band. We do the gig. It was the highlight gig of my life. I've been on stage with Prince before. I performed with Prince. Prince was my bass player on one show. But I had never done a show at Paisley Park for celebration. That's a very limited group of people who do that. So we did the show, Brown Mark Nation. So the day after I quit and turned in all my gear, because it was at-home work. I worked from home. I'm used to that. Had my office set up and everything. The next day, a guy I've done business with over years, and I've done every network marketing MLM business on earth, right? And the first first business I ever started, I saw an ad in Craigslist, how you can make X number of dollars in this moment. And I said, that can't be real. And it was a number. I called the number and the guy answered. And we talked. I went and bought a laptop, the last money I had, which basically cost me my second wife. But she was like, you need to go get a job, whatever. So that's a story for another day. But I went on and I went on. I've been in every business opportunity, crypto, Forex, all this stuff, and came to find out one major thing. MLM network marketing, affiliate marketing, one tier, 2 up, 3 up, 9 ups. I've been in all of them. And what I found overall was most of them are designed for the average guy to fail. The company cannot function if everybody wins. They can't, because it gets too big too fast. We're talking about millions of people in this world and in this country. Most of these companies were in a niche that's so small, it was bound to fail anyway. I mean, unless you don't have to be a woman, but unless you are trying to lose weight and you feel some kind of way about yourself, you're not going to buy any shakes or weight loss teas, lotions, and potions. And most people get in online businesses for one of two reasons. They either love the product or they love the business, or both. But what I found out was this. There's one business, one, and that business has allowed me time freedom, financial freedom. And the niche that this business is in is not only the biggest niche that any network marketing company could be in, but it's the one thing everybody's talking about right now. And what that is the price of gas. Now, here in the United States, we're very spoiled. In the UK, they're paying $11 a gallon. They normally pay 8 or 9. So we're kind of spoiled. But even still, that's what everybody's talking about. 238.2 million licensed drivers in the United States alone. And this company is in the United States and Canada right now and opening, by the time you see that, it's probably already opened the UK, France, Australia, and the Philippines. Huge. At least 500 million people. They're all potentially my clients. So the future looks brighter than it's ever looked. And I'm still in a band. to this day. So that's my story. And what did I say all that for? I said all that to tell you guys, look, if you are not fulfilled in your life, it's probably because you're doing something 8 to 12 hours a day that you hate. 85% of the population of the United States hate their job. So 9 times out of 10, you hate yours. So, but here's the dilemma. Time is useless without money, and money is useless without time. Let me say that again. Time, freedom of movement is useless without money. And money is useless if you don't have time. I remember doing a commercial one time for Miller Beer, light beer from Miller, what it was, a few years ago. We were doing this commercial. And we had to do this commercial in somebody's yard, and they had a boat dock, and we were on the dock and in the boat and all this. So they rented this house, yard, not inside the house, but just the yard of this house for the whole day. We got there at 6 in the morning, and we never saw the guy leave. And we left there at 9 that night, and we never saw him come home. We saw the mom leave. We saw the kids leave. We saw the mom leave, go for a walk. We saw the mom come back from the walk. We saw the mom go for a drive, come back with new hair and nails. We saw all of that. Great big giant house on White Bear Lake. Never saw the husband. Never. I asked the crew the next day, did you ever see that guy? Yeah, he came on about 9:30. He looked like somebody shot him in the face, but he had a suit coat on. Yeah, because he's working his ass off to maintain that house, that boat dock, that boat, private school, and his wife, who doesn't work. It's a great setup, but he's working his ass off, and he never gets to enjoy the house, the boat, the car, the wife, or the children. So what good is all the money if you don't have any time? And what good is a guy who's got all the time in the world and got no money? That was me for a long time. So, again, I'm not trying to impress you. I'm just trying to impress upon you that I've been where you're going. I've been there and done that and got the battle scars. And it is my belief that I finally found what I needed to find. Come with me. Let's go. Click on the link and get started. It's so simple. Don't buy another gallon of gas until you see this. That's what I say to everybody. I've got this, I'm in a Jeep. I drive a Jeep. I've got this spare tire cover coming right now. It covers my whole big old giant spare tire. And on it is the words, don't buy another gallon of gas until you see this. And in the middle is a big QR code. So people riding behind me, what is that? Take a camera picture. Oh. That's all I have to say. That's all I've been saying. Don't buy another gallon of gas until you see this. Click on the link. And I'll see you on the inside. And if you want to talk to me, call me. Here's my number. 612-888-7807. That's my office number. I'm always at home. Call me, let's talk about it. Because your freedom is more important than your money. But you need the money to have the true freedom. With that, I'm going to get out of here, smoke the cigar, and enjoy the rest of this day. And as always important, peace and accelerate.